Imagine a room full of 300 people. You have some discussions are humming, they're buzzing, and others are falling flat. They're just falling flat. All due to a subtle ear touch and a hidden rule. Some people call me a company doctor, others call me a coach, a mentor. I'm invited into companies to feel the pulse and to accompany them through change. I am so interested in patterns. Yep. Human behavior, intercultural change. Sometimes there is a necessity for a huge organizational change in roles, responsibilities. Other times, a simple respect for the communication process gives positive results. But if we don't know the rules which govern human behavior, we can't change it. And we miss out on trust, on sharing potential innovation. For me, listening or finding the patterns in an organization is like listening to an orchestra. You have to be trained to distinguish between the different instruments and naturally how they sound. So I spark up conversations and I listen to how someone uses their own instruments. Is there a positive beat? Do they listen? Is there an openness to other people's melody? For me, over the last decade, I've coached over 400 people to stand on this circle, to share their passion with you, to really open up their hearts, to truly share. And naturally, because I'm interested in patterns, I've found some common traits in successful speakers. Those that are willing to step outside their comfort zone, to look at their bad habits and to change them. Or simply to use a pause to develop anticipation instead of awkwardness. I deal with also expressions of movement. How they stand, where they put their feet, how they use their hands. For me, I am so amazed when someone owns the stage. So these patterns of thought and expression help for, firstly, clarity, and then second, authenticity, and naturally, stage presence. I love it when someone owns the stage, then speaks with their body, voice, and soul. My second point deals with teams. And there's embedded patterns in teams in any case. We can all feel them, and how are they delegated, or how we open up to strangers. There is so much power, creative power, in a large group. So when people share and they open up, and there's a knowledge transfer happening, it's something which gives me such a good feeling to be a trainer in these environments, and it's something that gives me power to carry on. One of the reasons I stand up here is because I challenge other people to step outside their comfort zones. For me, this was a challenge, to not come from backstage to come to the front of the stage. I want to give you an example. I had a group of people, 300 people, and I was taking them through a community development workshop. So I got 150 to stand outside the room, and I gave them the task to say, okay, when you come inside, use charm, use politeness, but connect with the people inside. Those on the inside, let's call them insiders, they had the same task, to connect using politeness and charm. They had an additional rule. From childhood onwards, they were taught the subtle art of communication. That means throughout the whole walk of life, everything from eating to greeting, they were aware of the subtle signals. An example would be if they had a discussion with somebody, if in the first 2 minutes that person didn't touch their right ear subtly, they would think it was a mark of disrespect. They would politely disengage and move on. As you can imagine, in the first 10 minutes with 300 people, there were some discussions that were humming and people were laughing, they were joking, they were communicating, they were connecting. Whereas you had some polls, some discussions that just fizzled. The people felt frustrated because they felt rejected. After the debriefing, the CEO came up to me and shared he had seen a potential barrier to communication process unfold in real time. He said he'd focused so much on the message that he had missed these subtle signals of body language. So in my field, experiential exercises such as this are a potential learning loop for teams. That means, what really happened? Was it me? Was it them? What could we do better next time? My third point deals with change. It's going to touch on change. As companies expand or they downsize or they move to other cultures, there's a different set of patterns that form. Sometimes negative patterns. So these negative patterns come into the corporate culture and they're never questioned. Typically happens in older companies or larger companies. Often what happens, and this is bizarre, you have barriers between departments and divisions. So imagine concrete walls, and they call them silos. Now when these silos form, there's no communication between departments, and information is guarded. To break down these silos, leadership, managers, those running a team, have to be aware of the negative patterns which stop collaboration, which stop teamwork, which stop knowledge transfer. And if there is an openness towards changing, that they then can see the true potential of a team. Peter Sench, he's a well-known change management author. I love some of his quotes, and one of the best ones is, you can't change a structure unless you change the thinking of those that created it. So let's think that through. Even if we're aware of human behavior and the patterns, there needs to be the next step to change the mindset. And if there is a change in mindset, there's a greater chance that any initiative will be sustainable. I've shared with you my love through curiosity and courage, I discovered the colorful world of patterns. I've talked about human patterns we need to be aware of. I talked about that empathy and active listening are key to change. And I also talked about true transformation comes with a change in mindset. Patterns are in everything we do in all walks of our life. The way we listen, the way we talk, the way we lead. The question is, are we open to how we react to others and how they react to us? So my wish for you is very simple, that you reflect on your own patterns and perhaps those of the teams you work with, and that you're curious on how people do things and why. Thank you.